I need to turn that slider up. Hey, there we go.
That seems better.
Now we have audio. I fixed it quickly.
Yay!
So for some reason, I don't know why, OBS things, it changed the audio source that was selected to not a usable audio source. Go figure, the live show. So I guess we need to recap from the top. Snail 3D, thank you very much for contributing to the channel. Snail 3D just gave us our first ever super chat. Woo! And man, we're not gonna go out asking for super chats or anything, but it is incredibly appreciated. And like I was saying, it's gonna go to paying for this guy's milkshake salary. I think he earned 2 last year, so we're gonna go for a minimum of 3 this year. Oh man. So we've got a bit of a fun show planned. So for the last 2 weeks, on conference calls with our friend Nathan Wolford there in chat,
Who just said party time?
yeah, party up, buddy.
Hi, Nate.
Thank you, Nathan, for joining in. Nate's a level 3 channel member, helping to keep the lights on around here. So we've been talking a lot the last couple of weeks about competition in 3D printing and why it's such a big deal. And that's going to be the main topic of the show tonight. I realized that was supposed to be the main topic of last Friday's show, but we didn't quite get there because, well, frankly, after we... Brother!
Whoa.
Snail 3D, dude!
Bro!
Dude!
Listen, man.
Yeah!
We appreciate you.
Oh my gosh! Dude, thank you so much!
Oh, that's awesome, man. Thanks.
Oh, you're the best. Yes, I will absolutely. Is your name unprintables Snail 3D? Let's look up Snail 3D unprintables. I don't see a snail. See a snail shell. What's your name unprintables Snail 3D? Whoa, dude. So much thank you. You DM'd me on Printables. Oh. Sorry, I accidentally unmuted my camera. Snail. Alright, man. There's the follow back. So,
Hey, was that Nintendo stuff?
Oh, he did sights on the toothpick gun. Alright, so what we're gonna do, because I'm super grateful, we're actually gonna change things up a little bit. And we're gonna show off Snail 3D's printables page.
Hey, does the audio work on screen sharing now?
Goodness, did I fix this last week? Yeah, it's good. Wait. Yeah, it's fine. Look, you guys get to see some behind the scenes. All the way behind the scenes. All right, so let's see. What kind of stuff is Snail making? Clean hooks. Oh, I love some hidden fastener hangers.
Yeah, that's dope.
Dude. Too bad it wouldn't survive your backpack. It won't make you regret hanging it. I love that design. That looks like that's going to be really easy to print. Oh, yo.
You know, I actually looked at that model not all that long ago.
Oh, I'm going to have to make one of those.
I wish that would work with my desk.
Yeah. Brother, here's some stuff for your mom. Get a Bible mount. Tactical accessible Bible, brother. Should absolutely make one of these. Dude, appreciate that so much. Let's see, we got a toothpick gun with sight.
Because aiming is important.
It is, it is. Got a modern wall-mounted cross. We've got car tetherball. That is outstanding. I love that. Oh, man, that would have been really cool. I was in the car all day. I went to the Cleveland Auto Show with my grandpa. Oh, we got some quest hangers. There you go. Some Mario dive coins. I know you're not going diving anytime soon, but they are Mario coins, so.
Yeah, you're going to need to just go ahead and
Yo, I love that.
send me the link to his printables page.
I will do spaghetti chopper. I go for the whole spaghetti, man. I want the whole spaghetti. Printing shed.
Well, you need to print one of those.
I do. Well, we're not in a shed right now. That is the main studio. Oh, dude. Neil, you've got some really awesome stuff, man. Thank you for hitting us up and showing us what you have going on. So I am going to do this because this feels like a very nice thing to do. So there is Snail 3D, guys. Go check out Snail over on Printables because he's got some really fun models. I'm really excited to check some of that stuff out. Thank you very much for the $19.99 and the $1.99 super chats, man. Those are super, super appreciated. And we're definitely going to put those to good use. So, how's everybody doing tonight? Are we having a fun Friday? I mean, it's the start to the weekend. So, I want to know, how's everybody in chat doing? All couple of you.
I'm having a fun weekend because I'm here.
So, guys, we have a new name for the Friday live streams. It was so on the nose that if it smacked me in the face, it couldn't have been any more obvious. So the Friday print stream, or the Friday streams / potential future podcast venture, we're gonna call the show Just Hit Print on Fridays, which we have merch for. We actually had merch for it before then. Beau actually brought it to my attention that I say that in videos a lot, that it's like a catchphrase that I've developed apparently.
It is.
Didn't even realize that I had catchphrases. And when we were trying to figure out what to name the show that wasn't just me ripping off Slant 3D unintentionally, sorry about that if you're watching, man. Totally an accident. Deanna Duffy, who's normally hanging out in the live streams, over in our Discord suggested we call the weekend show Just Hit Print, and we're gonna rock with it because it's pretty on brand apparently.
And again, how we missed that, not sure.
I don't know. I'm glad we have her around to put us in our place, dude.
Right?
She keeps us on track. Deanna's awesome, and I'm super grateful that she gave us that idea. So, basically, the Friday shows, we're going to be taking a little bit of a pivot on some of the types of live streams we were doing. So, you can still expect in the future, I'm going to do some project streaming and things like that. So, I have some machine builds planned this year. I really want to get my hands on a Milo 1.5 LDO kit. And I will be planning, or rather, I will be building a CNC mill. I would love to get my hands on a positron kit once they're available this year. And I do have intentions on building another large machine, like a Voron or maybe even a VZ-Bot, depending on kind of what really catches my attention at the time. So I'm still going to be doing those streams once the shed is back in operation. However, since we're temporarily using cameraman Beau's living room as our main studio, can't exactly take over a whole portion of the house that we have to film other projects and other videos in for machine building. Nate says that I need to do the VZ330. Dude, the kit comes with the all-wheel drive setup, and I think it could be really cool. Those things are like screaming fast. Kind of leaning that way, actually. So we're actually going to get to a point where we're going to start incorporating a couple of different sets basically as time goes on. We're going to be doing a lot of filming still here at Cameraman Beau's house just because we have a lot of the stuff already here. And we actually have some projects planned for how we can use 3D printing in his home space. So that's going to be really fun. I'm really excited to do those shelves.
Yeah, gonna do a lot of shelves and stuff. All of my Nintendo themed stuff needs somewhere to live. Well, the fireplace is getting fairly full at this point.
The fireplace is overflowing.
And I'm gonna need somewhere else to put some of my Nintendo stuff. So yeah, we're gonna have to build some shelves. Also, putting a filament storage rack above the fireplace at some point.
He thinks one rack's gonna be enough. He's so
It'll
mistaken.
be enough for down here.
Yeah, it'll be enough until you turn one of your spare rooms into filament storage.
Well, that's kind of actually what I was figuring on, was putting a couple of racks upstairs in one of those rooms.
This man got his first bamboo printer a good chunk of the way into February.
4 weeks ago to the day, today,
Okay.
that showed up on my front porch.
We unboxed it on a stream, did first prints, and in that 1 month time, he has accumulated over 220 print hours on the P1S.
I'm actually over 270 now.
Brother. So James, you were absolutely... That dog ain't right, man. So James, thank you for helping bully this fella into getting his bamboo. Because, man, he is... the thing is non-stop running. Like right now it's not, which has been a small exception. So I'm so glad that we all successfully bullied him into buying... I mean, we strongly encouraged him into buying a bamboo.
To be fair, the only reason it's not running right now is because I figured potentially tonight we might start filming the video about that.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason it's not running right now.
Yeah. So, I'll let you guys in on a secret. Secret time. Secret time? I've already got him convinced he needs to buy an AMS. So, that's another update from this week. You only have one printer. Well, you have two now, technically. I brought my SVO6 Plus over here. We're going to do some fun stuff with that. But Beau sold the Anchor Make this week.
I did.
So we traded, and Beau bought a Viper from me a while ago. And I brought over the Anchor Make for him to use during the print drive. So he was running the Anchor Make and the Viper side by side for Loyal Moses' print drive at Christmas time. And he really seemed to be enjoying using the Anchor Make, which was awesome because I didn't use it at all. And so I agreed to trade, and I took the Viper back because I kind of missed having it around. I really enjoyed using the Anycubic Viper. So a friend of mine at work started talking about, he said, if you ever have an extra printer kicking around, just let me know. Well, I got to thinking, Beau hasn't turned on the Anchor Make since he got the P1S, even before. So it's been kind of interesting, now that you have a machine that you enjoy using, just what's been happening. So we worked out a deal, my work buddy and I, and well, Beau let go of the Anchor Make. And have you ordered your AMS yet?
I have not.
Nathan, you and Beau should go to Micro Center tomorrow so Beau can get an AMS.
Hey Nate, what are you doing tomorrow morning? Catch me.
So that's kind of what's going on. I'm really excited to actually get to zoom out.
You zoom out.
Fine, we'll zoom out. So I'm excited to get to see the actual AMS in person. I haven't got to play with one. So there we go. We're zoomed up. What kind of loser doesn't have an AMS? This cheap loser right here, man.
Also, this cheap loser until I buy an AMS.
You know, if I remember correctly, about 4 weeks ago you said, I just don't see why I would need that. I don't think I would get much use out of that.
Well, particularly until you pointed out to me the failover thing, because I have a spool of the New Maker's White on the back of that right now, and there's probably somewhere between 30 and 60 grams left on it. Not because I printed a ridiculously huge bowl for no reason at all.
You're the most ridiculous. You are the most ridiculous. So yeah, neither of us have an AMS. I have the AMS Lite. The poors always act like they wouldn't want the nice stuff. Ooh, calling you out. I don't know. The reason I didn't buy the AMS was actually because I had an MMU2 S for my Prusa, and I just didn't use it ever. The MMU caused me more headache. Nail just got his first bamboo, is now up to 3, soon to be 10.
Wow.
Are you running a small print farm over there? Like, what are you selling prints?
James, I also wouldn't want a private jet.
Not even a little bit.
But that's mainly because I don't really like flying.
I'd rather have a helicopter. That's a goal of mine, actually. So, I actually do want to arrive at a point in life where I can get my pilot's license. I would love to own and be able to fly a helicopter. So, a little bit about me, guys. Started with the Prusa Mini, then a K1, and now he's sold on bamboo. Yeah, felt I started with a CR10 clone and it just snowballed. Now I have a problem. I am genuinely addicted to buying 3D printers.
I started out resisting 3D printing and then filmed and edited for a 3D printing YouTube channel.
And knew nothing about 3D printing, even though he owned one.
For several months. And then I was bullied by chat into buying a bamboo machine.
Mainly James and Spam Magoo.
Yeah, that's true.
A little bit Calyx. He's not been around in a while.
Yeah. We should go find him. We know where he's at.
I do know where he's at. mainly James. James was really on. Builder's Mark was in on it too.
Yeah.
Mark, are you here? James has an Ender 3, a Voron, an X1C. He has everything covered. Yeah, you do have most spaces covered. Absolutely. Yeah, Mark was instrumental in the attacks on your credibility. You know, though, that's kind of the interesting thing when it comes to having 3D printers, right? It starts off, one person has a 3D printer and you ask them to make you some cool stuff with it. And then, if you're at all anything like me and my friends, Nathan says he'll take you to Micro Center if you buy an AMS and a P1P. I happen to know that you have the unlimited budget card at Micro Center.
I do have the unlimited budget card at Micro Center.
Chat, you know what to do. Chat, you know how to handle this situation. You've done it before.
I think the AMS would be better served on the P1P, actually.
You also happen to have a $450 coupon. Chat, why wouldn't he need a P1P, James? He already has P1S. Although, you know, now that I think about it,
oh Lord,
Micro Center doesn't. He's trying to bribe us into showing his short. So now that I think about it, Nate, he can't buy a P1P and an AMS unless he bought them separately. There's no savings in that because they don't sell it in a bundle. So he would have to buy a P1S combo.
Do you want to get striked?
I mean, buddy, you're already at 220 hours on the first one.
Do you want to get striked? That's how you get striked.
You know, if you bought the combo and wanted a P1P instead, we could orchestrate a trade with some cash involved because I could benefit from a P1S.
Do you hear what I'm dealing with right now?
Come on, guys. You know what to do. You know how to make them do things. I'm going to publish your phone number on the internet. I'm going to dox the heck out of you. Is Deanna here? Deanna, we're currently trying to... What do you mean you can't get on board? You were instrumental in the first one. We're trying to get him to get another printer.
Okay, so, James, I will say this. Well, now you have to do it.
Oh, no. Oh.
Okay, okay.
Oh.
Real quick, Snail. Is it family friendly? We try real hard to be family friendly here. As long as it's family friendly, I think you have to do it.
Let's, all right, we'll figure out a way to have that checked out in a few minutes. We'll find a way to vet that. So, but James, here's the proposition. The cameraman Beau only has one bamboo. What he needs is 2 bamboos and an AMS.
So, James, the other thing is that the plan from the second we started talking about selling the anchor make, the original plan was that I was gonna take that and add some cash to it.
Hayden wants to go to Micro Center.
I mean, if you're down for taking the kids, yeah, let's go to Micro Center tomorrow for sure. That'd be awesome.
So, James, essentially what we're trying to do is bully him. He's already buying the AMS. The AMS is happening.
But the original plan was to take the money from the sale of the anchor make and buy a P1P because I want to have, so like Rem said earlier, he brought the SV06 Plus over here, which at some point we're going to buy the clipper screen from Sovol to put on it.
The way these super chats are going, that's happening quick.
So then I want to have another printer. The plan was I wanted to have 3 printers here. The SV06 Plus, the Anchor Make, and the Bamboo Lab. I have, because I think it's fun and also kind of hilarious, me and Nathan, who is in chat, kind of have a goal to, this year our goal is to send Loyal at least, bare minimum, 2,000 toys for the print drive. That's, if we didn't let you in on that, that's our goal for this year.
2,000?
That's our goal between me and Nathan.
2,000.
Mm-hmm. So whatever you and Nick add in, we'll be on top of that. But that's me and Nate's goal between the 2 of us.
I'm not sponsoring your filament.
Okay.
I sponsored the whole print drive.
I'm going to ask Mom if she can sponsor some shipping, because that's going to be expensive.
Dude, it was $85 to ship 500 toys. Thankfully, my grandparents sponsored that. Wow. 2,000.
Yeah, that's our goal for this year.
I'm going to have to build a VZ-bot and buy some bamboos. So, Snail 3D asked if we're going to Ermurf. The answer is unfortunately no. We are not going to be attending any 3D printing shows this year unless we somehow get a crazy corporate sponsorship that would afford us both to be able to take the necessary days off of our day jobs, because we are not even close to doing this at any level of income. So it is of the utmost importance that we maintain our day jobs. So this year trade shows are out for sure. No rep rap festivals, no trade shows. However, that is a goal of ours, at least mine, is to get into that in the next, hopefully 2025. That is a reasonable thing for us to be able to do.
Yes.
I think that the way that we're growing, it would be feasible even if we have to take time off of our day jobs. So I'll tell people about you while I'm there. Appreciate you.
We appreciate that.
That's what it's all about.
Oh, real quick, Snail, if you're... Is there a link to the Discord somewhere in the description?
There should be.
Snail, can you drop the short, a link to the short in Discord just so I can watch through it before we play it?
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Oh, I don't have audio set up on the screen cap. How about this, Snail? This time, because I'm still trying to learn how to set up all the stream stuff. The Discord link is in the video description. So if anybody who's watching wants to join our Discord, hit up the video description. Drop the link there, and then after we're able to vet it, we can put it in the chat in the video for this time.
Yep.
And then we'll need to figure out a system for that kind of stuff going forward when we're done with the show tonight.
It scares me to have that kind of audio turned on.
Anything could happen.
I mean, just for the simple fact of a lot of times I'll have HBO Max or, you know, Hulu, Netflix, whatever, a tab open on personally on my laptop, and that's immediately flagged as a copyright issue. If that gets played, especially along with audio, copyright issue, we're in trouble immediately.
I use my laptop for watching TV everywhere I go.
So having that audio set up terrifies me, if I'm being honest.
No, James. No, James. Bad James. Thank you, Nathan. By the way, Nate, you're a moderator now, so do with that what you will. Use your powers for good. So, James, basically, we're just trying to convince him to get another machine, and he's already getting the AMS. AMS is happening. It's just,
It's funny that you think there needs to be convincing. I'm already planning to get another machine. I think the only convincing here is whether or not I do it tomorrow.
I mean, it'd be the better value. Would save money on your AMS. You would be spending more money up front, but you would save money on the AMS.
I'm not sure the savings is worth it because you save $50, but the P1S is $100 more than the P1P.
Okay, do you want a P1P?
I do kind of, yeah.
Okay.
All right, fine.
How much do I have to give you?
I don't know, $50.
Done.
That's the extra that it would cost me if it's bundled and I save $50, but the printer's $100 more. Means it'd be $50 more than I would spend for a P1P and an AMS.
Hey guys, I just got a P1F. And Beau's getting a new printer.
I hate it here. I hate it here so much. Why do I let you convince me to do these things? You're gonna get striked.
But I don't even get to go to Micro Center. You should think of that as a punishment.
I don't think of that as a punishment. You're getting a new printer.
You and Nate get to go to my favorite store without me.
You get to do your favorite thing in the evening after you get off work, which is unbox a new printer.
I do love unboxing printers. Yeah, but you get to go to Micro Center. Should be better than the K1C.
Can confirm.
Oh, the K1C hurt my soul, man. I'm still sad about that. I really, really wanted it to be good. It's a bummer. But such is life. By the way, guys, so if you haven't seen yet, we did publish the review video on the Creality K1C on Monday. I'm really excited because it is the best performing video that we've had in months. Since Monday, it's got 3,800 views and over 400 hours of watch time. which means we're really close to reaching full monetization on YouTube. We're really close to AdSense, which is a huge accomplishment because we're just doing this really, really part-time, and it's hard to put in enough time to really buckle down. Oh!
Excuse you?
Quit playing on your phone. We hit 4,000 watch hours today.
High five. I was looking to see if Neil was in the Discord.
Okay.
He is.
Okay.
Doing something work-related. Thank you.
Dude, we only need 170 subscribers.
Fun fact for those that don't know, we are giving away an Anycubic Cobra Go at 1,000 subscribers. So
Get in here and give your pitch to the zoomed-in camera.
I just gave my pitch. Oh, I didn't have more than we're giving away an Anycubic Cobra Go at 1,000 subscribers.
That's fair. It also comes with an entire set of tools that I purchased for a video.
Which we need to go get replacements of because we've since used them all.
That's fair, but that's because they were useful, right?
They were, in fact, useful.
So yeah, we're giving away, at 1,000 subscribers, we're giving away an Anycubic Cobra Go 3D printer, and I will pay to ship it anywhere in the continental United States. We are giving away a spool of filament with that printer, an entire set of tools that we handpicked and do recommend and use ourselves.
And again, we're going to have to replace because we did have them all in the packaging with the intent to ship them with the printer in the packaging, and then have since opened them to use in different projects because they are in fact very useful.
We greatly underestimated the amount of time it was going to take the channel to reach 1,000 subscribers. But also the printer is going to come with your very own private video. Just you, only for you, whoever wins it.
Is it going to be a video on how to put it back together after you take it apart to ship it?
Yes, absolutely. Well, that and a thank you message, and yeah, I mean, I feel like that's only right for whoever wins that.
Sure.
We're going to have to figure out a good way to do the giveaway for that too. Because just randomly, you can win, Nathan. I don't know how we're going to do the wins yet, but you are eligible to win.
No, you're the only person that's not eligible.
The channel's in my name. I veto him. Just because I don't pay you doesn't mean you don't work here.
Oh.
Thanks, James. Thanks for the congratulations, man. So yeah, exciting stuff is happening around here. Other updates from this week. The K1C video. Like I just said, it's performing really well. And as a result of that video, I adamantly believe, and the growth that we've been getting from the video, I had 2 companies reach out to me this week who want to send us some products over to check out on the channel. And I'm really excited about that because one of them is something that I was going to buy anyway, and I'm probably still going to buy one. And the other is something for cameraman Beau to get some use out of. So, should we tell them what it is, or should we make them wait for the content?
I don't even remember what they are. I remember what one of them is. I don't remember what the other one is.
Nathan says if he wins, he's going to give it to someone else. That's fair, Nate. That's fair. That's very kind of you, considering you already have... Nate, you have 4 3D printers in your house right now. Nate's got more printers than you.
In the event that Nathan doesn't point this out in the chat, that's because you have walked by the one that you're supposed to take home multiple times. We were at Nathan's house like 2 weeks ago. We're leaving, and I go, oh hey, while we're here, you should grab that printer that's just sitting there on the workbench in Nathan's garage that Nathan has been trying to get him to take home for like 6 months now at least. And I'm like, hey, we're standing here. You should grab that printer and take it home. And he goes, no, it seems like a problem for another day. So it's still at Nathan's house.
I should get the Seaboard kit to convert that to a Voron. I can convert that to a switch wire. I feel like $450 though.
I mean,
Now, do I get the new P1S or do I get the one that's got 275 print hours on it?
Well, it depends. Am I getting a new P1P or am I getting one that's got probably 1,000 print hours on it?
I'll happily take the used one. Nate, quit breaking your printers. So, all right. Channel updates, show name updates, just hit print shirts available now, rtms.tech. Link in the description. Also, link in chat. RTMS shirts, also styling. I'm working on coming up with more designs that aren't just related to the channel. I'm trying to come up with stuff that is like fun 3D printing themed shirts.
Like, level your bed, you heathens.
It just says level your bed. That is funny. Yeah, the level your bed shirt is one of my favorites because anybody who doesn't know anything about 3D printing is going to be incredibly confused. But it's one of those another 3D printing person out in public, if you know, you know kind of deals. I've got some other stuff that I'm kind of rattling around up here and trying to figure out how to make happen. Sweet. So we covered those things. We've got some cool stuff coming up. We just successfully bullied Beau into buying another printer.
Again, I was gonna do that anyways.
You are well on your way to having a print farm. One of the products that's coming in is going to be very useful for you managing all these bamboo machines that you have. You can manage up to 10 of them.
I still don't know what you're talking about.
I'll show you the video when we're done.
Okay.
Nate wants a Prusa. Me too, buddy. Me too. I don't know why I want a Mark IV so much. I think it's just because I never had a Mark III.
Too little too late, and why I'm still excited about it. See, I remembered the title.
Oh. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Wow. That was like April.
Look at me remembering stuff.
Dude, I didn't even remember. I titled a whole video that. Wow. Did you edit that one? Or was that one all me? Was that before you were on board? Interesting.
I don't think I did edit that one.
You know, that'd be a great follow-up if I actually bought a Mark IV. That'd be a really good follow-up to that video.
All right, so y'all have bullied me plenty. Start bullying him. Make him buy a Mark IV.
That's a lot more expensive.
It's not that much more expensive.
I can't put that on an unlimited budget Micro Center
Actually, the kit, if you buy the kit, is cheaper than what I'm about to go buy at Micro Center tomorrow. So, start bullying. Y'all know what to do. You're good at it.
My, how the turntables have. Buy the kit. It's content. Yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I would definitely buy the kit. So, those are a couple of big things. See. Well, it's the turntables have tables. Okay, so I'll tell you what, guys. Give me like 5 minutes. Talk amongst yourselves. Keep each other entertained. I'll see if I can figure out how to get this stuff working to where I can show you appropriately. Don't touch your sister. Okay, we're back. I have good news, I have bad news. The good news is, Snail, that short is incredibly funny.
We laughed real hard.
We're definitely going to show that. The bad news is, I don't think I figured out how to make the audio work. The even better news is, Nate, you do get to go to Micro Center tomorrow, as long as your wife hasn't made plans for you. So, yeah, guys, this is pretty hilarious. Also, Snail, I really genuinely appreciate that little promo video. That shout out is super awesome, and we are incredibly grateful for that.
Yeah, man, thanks for that.
So, for those of you guys who don't know, Zortrax is a 3D printing company that's been around for a while. I don't have much history on them, although I think that Snail has some opinions of his machine that he had.
Yeah.
I don't personally condone violence towards 3D printers, but this is pretty comical. So we are going to roll the clip now. This is some like top level production quality for a short, man. Kind of thought he was gonna like Office Space it.
Oh,
That was good, man. That was pretty funny. You made us laugh really hard, and that's just fun. That's just good fun. Oh man, I needed that. I knew you would love that, Nate. Also, man, I kind of want to do that to something. Oh, what exactly? I don't know.
Hey, you know that 3D printer that's in Nate's garage that he's been trying to get you to take home?
I'm gonna turn it into a Voron. Then again, I better do it before Nate does.
You're gonna turn it into a permanent fixture in Nate's garage, is what you're gonna turn it
It's been
into.
a permanent fixture in Nate's garage for like 2 years. That was his first 3D
To be
printer.
fair, he used to use it.
He did. That was his first printer. We're not allowed to have that in our state. We're allowed to have the components. But Tannerite is a no-go in Ohio.
Yeah, once you mix it, that's a crime in this state now.
Big crime. Big boy prison. So, sponsored by Snail. Oh, man. Thank you for coming and hanging out, Snail. You've been a riot so far, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Ohio really cracked down. You can still buy it. You can still buy the components, but... You know what's crazy, Nate, is I actually have a linear rail kit for the Under 3S1 that's in the shed.
I thought you installed that.
No, we were going to do a video about it. And then it got cold.
And then it got cold.
I got driven from the shed following the fire, if you recall.
But there was a fire.
There was. Not a bad fire. A little fire. Medium fire. Almost bad. Oh, gosh, I can still smell the kerosene.
Ram's over here having flashbacks.
Dude, that was just, it was scary. I was out there working on something. What was I building? I might have been working on the Voron. Crazy. So, I really genuinely want to talk about the feature. We're an hour into this already, and I really do want to talk about the feature topic this week.
Your fault. I blame you.
It's 100% my fault. So, we've been talking for the last 2 weeks about competition in 3D printing and why, for you and us, it is such a great thing to have. And what spawned this conversation largely is I've been trying to kind of determine. It started really after I decided that the K1C had to go back. And trying to kind of figure out, okay, well, there are specific capabilities that that printer had that I was looking for. And it was a clipper-based, fast enclosed Core XY printer. I mean, not expressly difficult criteria to meet. However, the more that I got looking to what was on the 3D printing market right now, I was having a really hard time finding anything that was an off-the-shelf printer that fit the criteria that I was looking for. And it just kept driving me back to building machines. And then I remembered the Magneto X. And what made me remember the Magneto X is the beta testers have started posting videos about theirs and their experiences. And I watched the Teaching Tech video about the machine. And oh my gosh, does the Magneto X look just awesome. So for those of you who don't know, I'm going to cut over to the screen capture here. The Magneto X is a really big 4XY 3D printer from the people over at Peopoly or Peopoly. I don't know how it's supposed to be said. I say Peopoly. I've heard people say Peopoly. Basically, this thing is 400 millimeters in X, 300 millimeters in Y, and 300 millimeters in Z. Costs $2,000 US and runs Clipper. It is beautiful. And what's really cool about it, let me see if they have, here we go. Basically, they took a stepper motor and turned it inside out. There's no belts, there's no pulleys. They're running magnetic linear motors. And that's really interesting. It's kind of like a maglev type system. I don't know if there's actually levitation involved. However, the moving parts, your X and your Y axes, are being pulled along the rails by the magnets that are opened up. And this thing is insanely fast. And it's closed loop steppers. So for the money and what they're advertising, it really seems like an awesome, awesome machine. So basically what I would be looking at to get, yes, Nathan, to your point, it is actual Clipper, not locked down Creality Clipper. It is full blown, you do what you do to it Clipper. And that's really exciting because you actually have control without having to potentially void your warranty. And really excited about this machine. Now, what does this have to do with competition in 3D printing? Well, I've kind of been trying to set some money aside in the event that the next Bamboo release was an absolute must-have printer for me, which I've not been disappointed with any Bamboo experience that I've had to date. So that was what kind of spawned the conversation that we've been having. Nathan actually really kind of spurred a lot of this on and was talking about how Bamboo Lab turned the 3D printing world on its head a couple of years ago and made 3D printing faster, better, and more accessible to people who don't even necessarily care about 3D printing. So
really to people like me who don't at least didn't really know anything about 3D printing, but thought it'd be cool to have a 3D printer and be able to print some cool stuff, but I don't really want to master working on a machine and tuning and fixing a machine.
Yep, exactly. And I'm really hoping, and this is kind of one of the central parts of the conversation we've had a few times now, is I'm hoping that Peopoly can put Bamboo on notice, this machine, because it's huge. And people have been asking for a big Bamboo since we got the X1 Carbon, and we haven't seen it yet. We got Bedslinger, we got small, we got enclosed, we got open frame, but we still don't have a big Bamboo. And man, the more I keep thinking about the Magneto X, the better and better that's sounding. So why is competition better though? When the X1 series of printers came out, there were very, very few 3D printers that were in a sector from a budget perspective that a hobbyist would purchase. And I know a lot of people are probably thinking $2,000 for the Magneto X is very expensive, and that would be way more than I've ever spent on a 3D printer. That's 4 3D printers for a lot of people. It's 10 Ender 3s. But it's a linear evolution, right? It's a bigger machine running a good firmware that is super customizable. And as somebody who likes to have the ability to tinker when I want to, I love Clipper. But I also don't have any issues with Clipper just running once it's set up. I don't have to keep messing with it. Once I get it set up how I want it, macros and all of that stuff, it's pretty awesome. And when you look at the cost of like building a Voron, which you're going to get up to 350 millimeters cubed if you do a 2.4, Magneto X still looks like a better deal because I don't have to put it together. $2,000, you pull it out of the box and it's pretty much ready to print from my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, you're getting the experience of that machine or of any of the Bamboo machines, but with a printer that dwarfs it.
As of the moment.
Currently. With a printer that dwarfs any of the Bamboos that you and I have between us, or will have between us by tomorrow.
Especially since I bought the one that has Mini in the name.
Should run at least every bit as fast. The more content I watch from editing your videos and also watching other 3D printing creators, the more I kind of realize there's kind of a cap on print speed that doesn't really have a whole lot to do with the actual printer.
Yeah, no.
It has everything to do with the characteristics of the plastic we're melting.
The 2 big bottlenecks that we're running into are hot ends and filament science. So Polymaker actually has some high-speed filament now. The Polysonic series is designed to print faster, but there's a trade-off. It's also going to sacrifice some strength. Right.
Well, the other thing I watched, I I mean, another part of that is flow rates.
Mm-hmm.
If you're still trying to use a 0.4 nozzle,
Mm-hmm.
like I watched a video on the Revo Panda.
Yeah.
I watched a video on that today. It was a guy talking about the max flow rate on it.
Mm-hmm.
And their claimed max flow rate with a certain specific filament.
Were you watching the Modbot video? Did he do one on the Panda?
I don't remember.
I know we watched his video on the high flow E3D hot end last weekend. The bamboo high flow hot end that E3D made. That was based off of like the CHT technology.
The one that was just a drop-in replacement for the hot ends or for the nozzle on it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't remember if it was the same video or not, but he did a flow rate test and only achieved the max claimed flow rate with the specific filament that they used in their testing, which was something.
Sunlu?
That's the one.
Okay.
It was a Sunlu filament.
Is it Sunlu or eSun?
No, it was eSun.
eSun, okay.
It was eSun.
They're one of the biggest filament manufacturers there is.
So it was one of their specific, I believe it was a high flow filament.
Okay.
Anyways, the point is, he hit that max flow rate, but it kind of looked like garbage.
That's the downside to the high flow printing. You have to be able to melt the plastic faster.
So, anyways, point being, as far as fast printers go, how you know, we need faster printers. Not really. There's a printer sitting right there that will go probably faster than you could print a part well.
Nathan has two comments. First, he's hoping that the new Bamboo is a 400 millimeter cube all-wheel drive enclosed X1 carbon. Yes. Yes. All the yes to that. The more I'm learning about all-wheel drive Core XY printers, 100%. I think that is a must. And if anybody's going to do an overkill large machine, I think Bamboo would do it. So basically, all-wheel drive is going to put 4 stepper motors for your A, B/XY axes. And what that's going to do is increase the amount of available torque. So you're able to pull off faster accelerations and have less belt stretching. So I do believe that I think we're going to see all-wheel drive on the next Bamboo. 400 millimeters seems reasonable for Bamboo. The only downside to that is going to be on the upper edge of coming through a door.
My question is, I don't know where I would put that. Like, if I bought one of those, I don't have anything to set it on. It would have to live on the floor. Actually, what would end up happening is that Nathan would come over here and we would have to custom build something for it to live on.
Yeah, a 400 millimeter print bed is 15.75 inches across. That's just the print bed. That's not taking into account the extra few inches on all the other directions. And you throw a box around that thing.
I was going to say, and if it is enclosed, I believe the external dimensions of that are like 380 something.
Let's see. The external dimensions of the P1S are 15.3 by 15.3 by 18 inches.
389, I was right. 380.
Now, why am I talking about that in inches? It's because I happen to know that you need to be under 3 feet or 36 inches wide to come through a residential front door. And once you start getting to a certain point, you have to then take into account, how are you getting this thing inside? And that's where size also starts to become diminishing returns on a fully assembled machine. Shipping cost is also going to be more expensive as the machine gets bigger. So these are things that we have to keep in mind when we're kind of putting together our wish list of what I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and call it the X2 series. because I'm pretty sure we're probably going to be into the next generation of Bamboo machines. I think we're going to get a revamped X1 Carbon with a lot of the technology that went into the A1 series, like all the new sensors and things. And there's a really high possibility that a new Bamboo machine is going to turn the entire 3D printing industry back on its head because of the amount of technology.
I'll tell you what I would like to see is, Nate said he wants to see 400 cubed enclosed. I would like to see them do what they did with the X1 and then went into the P1, except maybe less lag in between. Or maybe release them at the same time, release the top tier enclosed version and then release a skeletonized version.
Or just make the panels easy to come off.
For people who want to just print a ton of PLA.
Yeah, or
because like that would be something for, you know, if you're running a print farm-esque type deal.
Chances are you're probably going to be printing mostly PLA.
And being able to have, you know, to put that many things on one print bed and run them off at Bamboo speeds. Because that's one thing, you know, especially when you talk about that size of a print bed. I know we've talked before about a 4-hour print and an 8-hour print take the same time if you're going to bed. I sliced a print on the Bamboo that I had actually run off on that Viper.
Yeah.
And on the Bamboo, I was saving over 10 hours of print time.
Absolutely.
Well, that's being able to get up and start another one before I go to work versus having to wait till I come home.
Absolutely.
So that kind of speed with that size of a print bed, you're going to talk about significantly more parts coming off of that printer.
And then if you have exclude feature enabled, if one of them just goes off into the wilderness, you can just cancel that one part
instead of losing an entire print bed. And again, with the Bamboos, you can do that directly from your phone. And it will, if you look at the part and see which one's bad, you go through your parts list and click on it, and it will show you your print bed, like a rendered version of your print bed or whatever, and will highlight whatever part you've clicked on. So you just match that to the one that's gone bad and tell it to cancel that part, and it will just stop printing that one part.
Now we have that on Clipper too.
Right.
So that's making Clipper-based machines.
I believe that gave Nate some headache setting that up initially.
That's because Nate wasn't reading the instructions.
He's calling you out, Nate. We should just go to Micro Center without him for that.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to be at work all day. You're already going to Micro Center without me. It's like my favorite store. But okay, so we're gonna have Clipper-based machines able to run that.
Right.
Then we have Bamboo able to run that. Well, I think Prusa either has it now or is getting there on the XL and Mark IV.
Well, and that brings us back on topic. So who had that first, Clipper or Bamboo?
Actually, neither. They both. So it actually is an Octoprint plugin. So for you, as you're probably kind of uninitiated in this, the way we used to have to add networking to a 3D printer was a service called Octoprint.
Heard of it.
And Octoprint is still phenomenal. It's actually managed. There's a solo developer. She runs the whole operation. It was her idea and she runs it. There's a great amount of support from the community and donations and things. And she's doing some really awesome stuff. As far as I know, she's still a one-person team. Running, like her day-to-day is running the development of Octoprint. And Exclude Feature originally, to my knowledge, came from Octoprint, and then to Clipper, and then to Bamboo Lab.
So now you're talking about putting that on the Prushas, which is, that's probably the biggest name in print farms, at least currently.
I would have to say your top 3 print farms, it's got to be Ender 3s. That's got to be number 1. Like the OG Ender 3 and Ender 3 Pro have got to be currently the number 1 3D printer in print farms. It's either that or a Mark III. the Prusa Mark III or the Ender 3. Those two have got to be really close, because the Ender 3 was able to be purchased so affordably. It was so cheap.
Right.
And then you have really awesome people like Chuck Helleback, Filament Friday here on YouTube. He runs his print farm for all the stuff that he does is all Ender 3 base, and he publishes his profiles online. And Chep does a ton of amazing videos about tuning slicer profiles for the Ender 3 to make them print faster and better. So he's making...
So swinging us back to a little bit more on topic, where I was going with that is that exclude feature thing. You mentioned that's coming to Prusa's now.
I think. Let me verify. Let me not just...
So that's one of those things that, because, I mean, somebody created that, and then other people started implementing that feature, calling it whatever they call it, but other people start implementing that feature. That's something that benefits all of us as consumers of these products, because, like, I had, what did I have do that? One of the parts that I was printing for Nathan's Voron, it had really low bed adhesion because of the design of the part. I just didn't have a lot of contact with the bed. The fix for that was to put a brim on it, but it warped, and I didn't catch it, and I came home and had a print bed of all but one good parts, and that one had warped badly. And I tried to reprint that part with a couple other things, and it warped again, and I'd put two of them on the bed, and I didn't think to put a brim on them, and they both started warping by like layer 5, and I went in and excluded, killed both of those off. So, like, for somebody like me, like, that's something that I would never even have thought of. I didn't, like, until you told me about it, I didn't know it was a thing. But then also the fact that I was able to just go in on my phone and be like, that part, and don't print those anymore, because they're both warped already.
So I could not verify anything about exclude feature on the new Prusas. Doesn't mean it's not in the works. I might have just fabricated that.
And I mean, as it becomes more and more popular, it's going to get implemented on more and more machines. And again,
especially as more machines are running Clipper as a default now.
Like, it's just one of those things, like, that is a feature that, we're going to start seeing in more and more machines, which again, because of competition in the marketplace, is benefiting us as consumers as a general statement.
Right. And then, I mean, to really round all of that off, so for a really, really long time, Prusa was the name in 3D printing, right? The goal for a lot of us was to get a Mark III. And a lot of us settled for an Ender 3. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, I'm really grateful for my experience with the Ender style machines, because I had to learn a lot about 3D printing. Like, I as somebody who likes to tinker, and I do have fun modding my machines within reason, I am very grateful that I had to learn how to do stuff the hard way. And now that things are getting better and easier, I'm even more excited for it, because I take a deep breath. But what happened is the Ender 3 kind of disrupted what Prusa was doing to a degree. And then we got the Prusa Mini, which is another super popular print farm printer. And then along comes Bamboo. And after Bamboo came out, then we got the Mark IV. And I'm not saying by any stretch of the imagination that the Mark IV or the Prusa XL were direct retaliation to the Bamboo machines, because those machines were in development for quite some time.
Also, not neither of those machines are really direct competitors to the Bamboo machines.
They're not, but
They're very different machines.
no, but they came out with a lot of fanfare like the Bamboo machines did, which is kind of where I was going with that. Is it's one of those, boom, they're here now. You get the
Right.
you get the Prusa XL, and look how many people who didn't think they needed a $2,000 to $3,500 3D printer all of a sudden bought one because of the capabilities. And what's really cool with
About the tool changer.
yeah, that's the 3,500 I was
okay.
getting at.
Yeah, that thing's cool.
It's awesome. It really is. And it kind of seems like now that Prusa has done it and it's being mass produced at a affordable with some work, I'll call it, price point, I think that we're going to start seeing tool changing become a lot more accessible. I really think we'll really see multi-tool head printers start to take off now that we have the XL.
I think it's fair to call that affordable.
It is on the very high end of what I would consider to be a hobbyist printer.
It's, I mean, as far as like how heavy are you into your hobbies? You know, what are you into? I mean, you and I both have motorcycles that cost substantially more money than that machine, and that's a hobby. I mean, yeah, you ride yours to work sometimes in the summer when it's nice, but that's not a necessary mode of transportation. We also both have cars, four-wheeled vehicles.
But I also get 40 miles a gallon on the bike.
But you don't live that far from work. The point is, we don't need them. They're just for fun, and we spent way more on those than $3,500.
Hey, quit coughing into the mic.
So that's my bad, y'all.
Yeah, but the bank gave me a loan to buy the motorcycle. That's an auto loan. I don't think I could go tell my banker that I would like to buy a Prusa XL, please. She's gonna say your make, model, VIN, and I'm gonna go, Prusa XL. There is no VIN, silly. Nah, but seriously, the future signs.
There's probably a serial number.
Probably. Nathan says he thinks that Prusa missed by not making the XL fully enclosed. I don't think it's a miss, and here's why. Because they have add-ons. They have their billow draft chamber that they have as an add-on option. And the Prusa machines are so loved by the community. Fully enclosing that machine on your own is not going to be a difficult thing in a very short period of time. I think it would have been really nice if they saw a more Voron approach, but those tool head cables are so long that you would have had just a crazy top hat on that printer. You've seen the pictures of it. Let me pull up the Prusa XL for those who are watching along.
My question is, how many people that are running tool changer, you know, multi-color prints or whatever, maybe some different materials for supports and stuff, support interface layers, how many people are printing on something like that enclosed realistically is my question.
Nick. Companies like Nick.
Okay.
So looking at it from a professional, like, first, while I have the image pulled up, this is a gorgeous 3D printer.
Our friend Nick is a whole company.
Yes. So this is a really long cable, so I think that would end up being a pretty long or pretty tall top hat to keep that contained well, especially if once you have 5 tool heads running around in that enclosure. So our friend Nick works in an actual like production type environment. He works for a machining company that does a whole lot of stuff, and I
think we can say he's in the automotive field. I think that's safe to say.
I was trying to be as vague as possible and not give any details away. That's his business, not ours to share. So he actually has a Mark III that his department uses, so that way he can do some rapid prototyping. And they do things in their office. Like, I know that they have a I'm Um, they have a Markforged printer, which is a continuous carbon fiber 3D printing, or a 3D printer. So basically, as the filament is laid down, there's also a continuous string of carbon fiber being embedded in the print. And when you're looking at printing things like true engineering materials, polycarbonate or like nylons, you're going to want those to be fully enclosed, because they might be printing a part that is a production use part. They're not mass manufacturing on 3D printing, but they might use it in tooling or something.
Right. I mean, I understand that.
And I think with a $3,500 price tag on the tool changer specifically, I think that's aimed a lot more at professional use than it is at hobby use. Like $3,500, $2,000 is on the upper end of what I had ever considered for a hobby item, one item for a hobby. And $3,500.
Yeah, but it's one pretty awesome item.
It is a really awesome item. But then you look at $3,500. That's an even bigger pill to swallow. And it's, I mean, yeah, you could spend $2,000 up front and buy the one tool head machine and then upgrade it to the 5 tool head later. But I think I would personally rather try to just do it all in one go. It's another $1,600 to go from 1 to 5 tool head.
I mean, I'll grant you that's kind of an outrageous amount of money.
I wouldn't call it outrageous. I would just say it's steep. It's a lot, but
I meant to spend on a hobby. But again, I know people that have spent a lot more than that on hobbies, on one item for a hobby.
That's fair, man. And I mean, you have to look at it as well. You're getting a hot end, you're getting an extruder, and a whole lot of smarts crammed in there. Each one of those tool heads. That's why they're $500 a piece. So there's a lot of technology crammed into those hot ends. And I think that Prusa doing this, having their tool changer as kind of their like real flagship, like this is a Prusa kind of printer, I think that other companies are going to follow suit. For a long time, Prusa has been one of those companies in the industry that other companies have followed along to their lead.
Well, and again, that bringing us back on topic, that's great for us. Other people or other companies rather, trying to go that route and try to bring that more down to a John Everyman hobby level.
Absolutely.
And by the way, I'm not saying like, oh yeah, I would spend $3,500 on that. What do you mean normal people don't have $3,500? I'm not saying that at all. That is ridiculous, and I could not afford to buy one of those right now. I'm just saying some people do have that kind of money, and spending that on a hobby is nothing to them. That's all I'm saying there.
That would be like...
But bringing something like that down to a perhaps smaller and definitely cheaper level, maybe like a 3 tool head machine that was a little bit smaller than that John Everyman could go buy for like $1,500. Again, I understand that's a lot of money to some people. It's a lot of money to me. But it's a lot closer in line with, you know, a normal person spending on a hobby like that.
And then,
and again, that's huge benefit for all of us. If that machine comes out, well, now that's the machine. If it works well, that's the machine people are going to try to beat, either in performance or cost.
And when you're comparing the cost of buying a Prusa versus some of these other machines, the Prusas are made in the Czech Republic. They're made in Prague. They're not They're not being outsourced to other countries. They're European made. And so much of the technology and manufacturing of this is in-house. I think they're even starting to do some of their own control boards in-house. So they're doing all of that. So when other companies follow the leader, that means that the technology then becomes wider spread, which means it becomes cheaper, which means it becomes way more accessible. And that benefits each and every single one of us that love 3D printing, because if you look a handful of years ago, there were not 3D printers that came with automatic bed leveling. We used to have to add that ourselves and do our own firmware. And now, how many people are genuinely considering buying a 3D printer that doesn't have automatic bed leveling? I can't think of a reason to buy a Prusa. So, Wondering World, we're not necessarily championing Prusa here. We're using them as our primary example, as kind of the...
I mean, neither of us even currently own a Prusa. You don't anymore. You got rid of yours. Yeah. So neither of us currently own one. We're not trying to say you should buy a Prusa. We were just, like Rem said, using them as an example of technology and
being an industry leader. They're the first to a lot of things, and honestly, I can't say enough good things about Prusa products, because yeah, the price tag is higher, but you're getting a machine that's made in Prague, that comes with a warranty, that is backed with very good customer service.
I've never owned a Prusa. Rem has owned one. I personally have obviously never dealt with their customer service, but I have heard from many creators that it is the best of the best when it comes to customer service.
Their live chat was amazing when I needed some help with mine. Having that as a resource is way better than having to post it on Facebook or Reddit and then hope that you don't get yelled at because you didn't post it in the right convention. Being able to talk directly to the manufacturer in real time right now, this minute, is a huge thing, especially for people who aren't tinkerers by nature, people who don't know how to fix issues.
And to kind of, Wondering World, was that the name?
Yes.
To kind of, as to what you said, that is some people's reasons to buy Prusas. That for some people, that customer service and that they are known for being incredibly reliable machines. So between that and their customer service, for some people, that's a lot of people running print farms. That's the number one reason that is their print farm machine, is because they're trying to run a business where they manufacture parts on these machines, and they need the support to be available right now in the unlikely event something goes wrong with the machine, because they are known for being so reliable.
And as much as I love my two bamboo printers, Prusa blows them away immensely in user serviceability of the machine. And that's a huge thing. It's like you look at buying a BMW Isetta versus a Honda Civic. Honda Civic is world renowned for reliability. The Isetta was a one-cylinder engine. So when you're looking at these things, the reliability is a huge factor. And
was that in a car?
Yeah.
In a bike, we call that a thumper.
You've never seen an Isetta?
I don't even know what that is.
That's what Urkel drove on Family Matters. Little three-wheel car where the door and the... Yeah, man. I actually saw one at the auto show today.
That's fantastic.
Oh, dude, it was so rad to get to see one in person. But having that reliability and the reputation that they do is a really strong thing for them. And the user serviceability that's the reliability, user serviceability, and customer service are the three reasons why Prusa, to me, is still the print farm printer. Like, for the price, it'd be really hard for me to not buy a bunch of A1 minis. However, you have to also look at things practically, because I don't mind fixing my own things, and if something breaks, the whole thing with the Prusa is, with it being open source, it's really easy to print parts and fix it.
For me, I'd have a hard time if I was going to build out a print farm not going with P1Ps.
Yeah, that's fair too.
Again, for price to performance. Yeah, their customer service might not be quite up there. They are also a much newer company than Prusa.
Yeah.
But their customer service might not be on par with Prusa. like you said, serviceability is not quite there. However, dollar to performance, and again, I know the Mark IVs have the capabilities to run faster and to perhaps match the speed of the Bamboos. But the Mark IIIs did not.
No, but they're still. That's the other thing, though. It's a proven platform. There are still people who are buying and outfitting their print farms with Mark IIIs to this very moment, because of the reliability of the platform.
Right.
Sometimes,
but when you're talking mass manufacturing, sometimes the more important thing is how many parts per hour can you crank out. Sometimes that is the biggest factor.
It is. But if you can buy more of a reliable thing, to play devil's advocate, you know the Mark III is going to work.
To be fair, at least for the first 300 hours, I know that machine's going to work too.
That's true too, but when it comes to user serviceability, it's going to be a lot easier to take apart a Mark III. Changing out your rods on that is going to suck. You have to buy the whole X-axis carriage instead of just replacing bearings.
Yeah, that is going to suck for you to do. He fixes all my printers when they break.
I'm going to learn how to use tools. And to Nathan's point, they mass manufacture all the printed parts in-house on Prusa printers. Prusa printers print Prusa printers. That is a nerdy tongue twister, man.
Well, boron printers print boron printers, so...
In the case of Nathan, bamboo printers print boron printers.
A bamboo printer, in fact, did print that boron.
Nate, does that feel dirty? Having your boron printed entirely on a bamboo?
Is that sacrilegious to boron, guys?
It might be. So, I mean, you know, it's one of those things where the reliability and customer service, those are huge. And I think that every other 3D printing company needs to strive to have those two things. Because, okay, how many machines did Creality release in the same amount of time that the Mark III was still kind of the king? The answer is a lot.
Several.
How many printers did Anycubic release before the Mark IV came out? A lot. How many did any other 3D printing company that was existing? The Mark III had a really long life cycle, and I think that's something that 3D printing companies should also learn something from. Spend more time making a polished product instead of re-releasing a new product every 3 months. And yeah, releasing these new products is cool, but you don't see a lot of innovation when you're turning out a new printer every handful of months. How many Ender 3 variants were really that different? How long did it take us to finally arrive at the Ender 3 S1, which is a very good machine? I really do like mine. How long did it take for us to arrive at that machine where they finally gave us direct drive on Ender 3 from factory?
And I think that's one thing, you know, when you talk about not really getting any real innovation, I think about this, my cell phone. This is the iPhone 15. I upgraded from the iPhone 13. In my day-to-day life, normal usage every day, this is no different.
Also,
practically there are no differences between this and the 13.
The average person would not notice any difference between my 13 and your 15. In terms of a functionality test,
you can barely tell by looking at them.
Your blue is darker than my blue.
Mm-hmm. But yeah,
picking them up and holding them in the hand, you might get a little bit of weight difference, and the side switch is a giveaway if you care about the side switch.
And I think for a lot of the printing companies,
Hi Deanna.
I think for a lot of the printing companies, they're doing, like you just said, they're doing exactly that, where it may have a few little tweaks, but it's virtually the same printer.
They're giving themselves competition within their own company. How many Creality released...
Well, Bamboo did that with that machine. It's really, I mean, it's really hard to justify buying an X1C when that machine exists. Because for $30 or $35, you can buy the whole hot end to get the hardened steel nozzle.
For clarification, for those of you who may be just listening or aren't aware of the layout of the studio room, that machine is Beau's P1S.
Yes, yeah, that's my bad. But again, so you can upgrade the extruder to the hardened gears. I don't remember how much that costs, but it's less than 50.
It's also $20 to just grab the gears from FISEC.
And then the again, to replace, you can replace just the nozzle for $15. And
that's a whole lot of aggravation.
Yeah, that's a huge pain in the butt. So just spend the extra $15 and get the whole hot end. But again, for $30, and then again, I know it's less than 50 for the hardened steel extruders. So now you've got the ability, you've got a fully enclosed printer that can print abrasive materials for $700 and for under $800, and the X1C still costs $12. And
yep,
you get a better camera, which
I know the camera's a pain point for you.
I don't like it, but it does what I need it to do.
K1C also has a more, or I'm sorry, the X1C also has a more powerful main board.
That's also a software limitation on that camera. We're going to talk about that in a future video.
It's because of the main board. The X1C has a more powerful motherboard.
Okay.
So that's why that is. LiDAR, don't really care.
Yeah. And okay, what other upgrades are you getting for your extra $1,200?
Metal side panels, beautiful touchscreen, already has all the hardened stuff.
Okay. Again, there's touchscreen solutions for, I'm pretty sure, under $100.
$53.99 currently.
Okay.
Ours will be here soon.
So again, to save $350, which by the way is the price of the AMS, you could just buy that machine. You can have essentially an X1C.
You can buy the P1S with the AMS for less money than the X1C. And then also buy the upgrade parts and have filament money left over.
Yeah, if you buy the P1S, if you're primarily going to just print non-abrasive materials and you don't really care about a touchscreen, because like me, you just run the thing off of your computer, and the only time you touch the buttons on that machine are to load and unload filament, you could buy a P1S and an AMS, like with an AMS, for $200 less than just the X1C costs. And if abrasive materials are not a huge deal to you, that's it. Now you have $200 to spend on filament, and you've got basically the same machine. So they kind of, me and Nate have talked about this several times because we love beating dead horse to death multiple times.
As is true with every conversation that we all have.
Yep. But I really think that they've just, I mean, I don't see any way that that's not going to kill the sales of the X1C. And maybe they went into it knowing that, and they were just like, you know what? People are not buying the X1C, but they do still want an enclosed printer. Let's make a cheaper version of it.
Well, to that point, something that you're probably not aware of, when the X1C came out, there was also an X1.
I do remember that.
There was an X1 and an X1C, and the main differences were the X1 had plastic side panels, not metal. Still that silver color, and it didn't have all the hardened upgrade. And it was cheaper. Those are the main differences, though. The X1.
Nate agrees with me, by the way. That one looks better than the X1.
That's fair. That's a subjective thing. I mean, you like matte black. Some people like shiny silver, and for some people, that is enough reason to buy an X1.
And that's perfectly fair.
But
why'd you buy the more expensive one? I thought it looked better. All right, if that's what you want to spend your money on, spend your money.
People pay $500 more for a different color vehicle paint every single day. Granted, that's also over the course of a 72-month loan. And
it's just
$500.
When we're talking about
$10 a month.
When we're talking about the percentage you're going to add to the overall purchase for a color change, the percentage is changing by a factor of at that point.
And if you don't like the colors, check out Big Tree Tech's Panda Fur, which is a leather wrap that you can put on your bamboo. It also comes in hot pink. LTT Lambo style. Machine would look awful good in pink, buddy.
Now that I know that exists, that machine's probably going to get wrapped.
The D brand.
I was just gonna
D
say,
brand should make some bamboo skins.
that would be...
Oh my gosh, if I could get the same honeycomb pattern that's on my MacBook on the printer.
D-Brand makes some dope skins.
They do. So these companies that are releasing all of these products mid-cycle are really only causing competition amongst themselves. I highly doubt, as much as this pains me because I liked my Viper, I really doubt that the release of the Anycubic Viper hurt Prusa sales.
Probably not.
Creality just kept pumping out Ender 3 after Ender 3 after Ender 3 after Ender 3. And that's still not all of them. In fact, within the last 4 months, they have released 3 Ender 3s that were all announced at the same time. Pick a new name. Please.
Also, refine a product before you release it. I'm not taking stabs.
I think the Ender 3 V3 is, from what I've seen.
Yeah, I wasn't talking about
I know
Ender
you
3.
You were talking about the do-over printer.
Yeah, they absolutely need a do-over on that.
That was the do-over.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You get a do-over and whiff that bad?
It sucks because it's so promising. It had
on paper, it's an amazing machine, and it beats that machine on paper.
But and this is just mine. There's a handful of other people that I've seen, but most people I'm hearing talking about it are loving their K1C. I'm hearing a lot of people loving it, and I'm honestly jealous that I didn't get to be one of the people that loved it.
I'll be honest with you, I don't understand that, because from what it seems like the problem is, it should affect all of them.
I don't know, maybe mine got dropped on its head by the Amazon man.
Maybe.
There was a decent-sized gash on the side of the box, so who knows, dude? But that's...
Maybe other people...
Stop. Like, the front of that is perfect.
Maybe other people just don't care about that.
Or don't notice it, or they're not printing things where it's as apparent.
Like that. Like that's what I'm saying is like maybe the people that love it, like one, you're not. I don't think you're the average user. I think you're in a little bit deeper than the average user.
I'm going to be
stuff like this. You're going to be a lot pickier about,
but that's because,
particularly given that it's on the back.
And
so
I've also had to come such a far way in 3D printing.
Also, from here, again, there's some stringing on the front of this, but that happens with lots of prints on lots of printers, and a torch will fix that in literally under 30 seconds.
I just intentionally left it untorched for when we took B-roll of it.
Right. But from here, this looks amazing, and for a lot of people, this is perfectly fine for what they're 3D
because
printing.
the front of it's fantastic. All the curved surfaces, are great.
Like, I can see some small little things on here that I don't particularly love, but that's not to say you wouldn't get those same things out of another printer. But the point is, I genuinely wonder how many people think this is a phenomenal print. Because you pointed this out as an issue, and I like, okay, well, so many people are saying it's great. Well, how many people are getting this and saying it's great?
And I think you get the same... Yeah, that seems reasonable.
I will make a mess.
You get the same issue with releasing printers within 4 months of each other that you get when you have an annual release video game.
Mm-hmm.
There's a reason that Assassin's Creed quit being an annual title, and that's because Assassin's Creed started to suck. Which pains me to say because for a long time it was my favorite video game series. Great story, fun gameplay, but then it became repetitive. It became monotonous. You're doing the exact same thing in a slightly different setting on a slightly larger map with slightly improved graphics. Except now it's going to come out even buggier because you're trying to cram a bunch of new stuff under the hood that you didn't have enough time to fully flesh out. And what does all of that have to do with competition in 3D printing? Well, if you take your time and you really work on developing a product like Prusa does, they knew how bad everybody wanted the Mark IV, but they kept pushing it back to make sure they could deliver as good of a product as we knew it was capable of being. And they still released it partially unfinished. There were some features that we didn't get out of the box, Input Shaper being the one that I'm thinking of predominantly. They knew they had Input Shaper just waiting to come out, but the demand for the Mark IV was here. And I think that the competition in the 3D printing market heating up kind of forced their hand a little bit. They knew they had to answer the call, and it's not even that they were going to fall from relevance, it's just they had to get a new machine out. And that's okay. Now that Input Shaper is out, the Mark IV is awesome. And I want one. I really do.
Well, and I think that right there is something that other companies should maybe take a look at, is people are okay waiting for a machine if you release good machine. And people are not going to be okay spending money on a machine that you rushed. And even though I keep buying them and then continue to regret my decision, although this year I was genuinely thrilled with what we got. The Call of Duty games, they're an annual release. And granted, there's a couple different companies that work on those, etc. But it's an annual release. And for the last several years, they have just kept re-releasing the same garbage. In fact, this year's game was literally an update to last year's game. But
still having fun with it.
It was literally just an update. Now, granted, I love it because it's original 2009-ish Modern Warfare 2 maps, which so much nostalgia. But if you release something early or quickly or on time or whatever, and it's garbage, you're only going to make people annoyed, upset, disappointed with their purchases.
And we're not saying that every single 3D printer released since the Mark III is garbage. We're saying that if you rush a product, you're going to have negative results.
Yeah, like absolutely. I mean, so how long was it from? So it was X1.
Yep.
P1.
Mm-hmm.
Was it then P1S
Yep.
and then the A1s?
Yes.
Okay, so I know not a whole lot of time passed between
That's
the P1S.
all within the span of 2 years.
Okay. And at least in my opinion, neither of us have ever used an X1, but he has a P1P, I have a P1S, and he has an A1 Mini. And in our combined experience, they're all fantastic machines. And those didn't wait several years to come out. But like you said, the point we're getting at here is that if you rush a machine to market and then it turns out to be junk, you've done neither yourself nor your customers any favors.
Like, so I just saw on Twitter 2 days ago that the Mark III celebrated its 6th birthday. In terms of what we've seen happen in the 3D printing world, that is insane. 6 years that machine, and it's still being produced, which is awesome. That shows the staying power of what happens if you develop a really good machine. And I think that we're going to see the Mark IV for a very long time. If the Mark III lasted 6 years,
for sure. Especially again with I mean, you mentioned Input Shaper, which I've heard you, Nathan, and Nick all talk about a lot.
That wasn't even out when the Input Shaper wasn't even a thing when the Mark III came out, as far as I'm aware.
Right, and I've heard about it for a couple of years now, honestly, between you, Nate, and Nick, and I had no idea what it was. And Nathan kind of tried to explain it to me once, haphazardly, And then I watched a video of what it actually in practice does, and my brain exploded because I could not believe the difference that made while moving something at the same speed. The difference it made in the stability.
Absolutely.
Could not believe that. So that's something, especially with some of those new features, that being one of the main ones that I'm thinking of. Yeah, that machine will last. I mean,
it'll have a good, long, healthy product cycle.
Yeah, they're going to be selling that for years.
Make printer go brr. Yeah, exactly. And so that's the whole thing. Is it's a game of follow the leader, right? Everybody is chasing what the current market leader is doing, and that benefits every single one of us who care about 3D printing, because in the same amount of time that the Prusa Mark III existed, we had countless versions of the Ender 3. We had several Voron releases. We had several printers from Anycubic and everybody else. There's nothing wrong with that. It's a good thing, because they were also targeting an entirely different budget sector with all of those machines. There was a lot of hope, I'm sure, that by targeting a less expensive price point, you could take away some of the market share from Prusa. And based off of the numbers that Creality released in the past on how many machines they're selling a year, I'm sure there was some market share stolen. I'm sure Bamboo Lab is hurting that market share. And what that means is, we got the Mark IV, we got the XL, and I can't wait to see the Bamboo size, like a 256 cube Core XY from Prusa. That's going to be a must-buy. That is going to be a must-buy.
Well, and now with these big machines coming out, and with, I mean, the Magneto, with all of the different Vorons on the market, with all the bigger machines becoming, you know, more and more popular. Not that they haven't been, but seems to be becoming more of a thing. Bigger Core XYs are becoming more popular.
Hey, as long as I can fit it in the front door, man.
Like we were talking about earlier, what's Bamboo's answer to that going to be? Because again, with companies, especially with technology companies in particular, innovate or die. That's how that works. If Bamboo just keeps making the current lineup of machines that they have, 3 years from now, they won't be selling machines anymore.
I cannot fathom
because somebody will have released better printers for probably less money at that point.
I cannot fathom that they're just going to take the X1 Carbon and just uniformly scale it up. They're going to cram so much tech into that thing.
They're going to have to do something different with it.
And I think they're going to take all the sensors that we got on the A1, because I have flow rate sensors and things on the A1 that you don't have on your P1.
Right.
And that's stuff that we're going to, the more sensors, the more technology is going to keep making the printers better, prints better.
You're going to get prints off, I mean, flow rate calibration built into the machine like that. I know that's a huge thing for getting more consistent first layers.
My first layers are beautiful.
So that's going to make your printers print more consistently without less part failure is what I was going for there.
More reliably.
I've been up since 1 a.m. My brain's not working right.
So, I mean, that's ultimately the thing is, I think you summed it up really well with Innovate or Die. And that's a good thing for all of us, because as companies are playing follow the leader and taking turns at being leader, that means more innovations happening. That means we're getting new companies, like Bamboo popped up out of nowhere. Who's next? What are we going to get next?
I mean, honestly, we've talked about this before. I think particularly given what's available now, it's too much money for not enough printer. But I mean, the Anchor Make machines, if they don't do something, they're not going to stay relevant in the printer game.
I think that they So at least my dilemmas with the M5, I think the M5C answered that call by simplifying it and making it more family focused than maker focused. So there's no screen. You're not changing settings, you're not changing parameters. It's all paired to the phone and it's super simple.
Okay.
Like there's a button. There's literally a button that is just press print. You push print on the machine to make a thing do the thing. And I think that I think we'll see more styles of printer like that are super simple, very easy to use for people.
And me and Nate have talked about that a lot with, 3D printing becoming more and more commonplace in people's houses that are maybe not into
Maker stuff.
Yeah, into maker stuff. Maybe people who are just into printing really dope hobby stuff. Maybe they just want to print cool stuff that they like, that they think is cool, that they can have, set around their house on some shelves. That's most of what I am doing. Like, I love the fact that I can print functional things, and like we talked about last week, there are thousands and thousands of free files for functional prints that some of them I can see being incredibly useful around the house.
Absolutely.
In other areas of your life, in other hobbies. For sure, from some very talented
designers.
Thank you. Again, brain's not working right anymore.
To that point, I was at the car show. I went to the Cleveland Auto Show today, and that was a really fun experience. I went with my grandpa, and I just casually heard some people behind me talking about 3D printed car parts. And they weren't what I would have expected when I heard people talking about 3D printing. It was a couple of older gentlemen, like I would guess late 60s, talking about 3D printing car parts.
So that's a big thing. So again, me and Nate have had that conversation, and Nate brought up the point, I can't see somebody like my mom or your mom running a 3D printer. I can't see somebody like my mom or his mom, both wonderful ladies. God bless them, they're both saints, particularly for putting up with me and Nathan. I can't see somebody like that running most of the 3D printers, including the P1S, without at least some help.
The M5C, they could nail it.
But
they can use their iPhone, buddy, they can nail the M5C.
So when we start getting into stuff like that, where it's more and more simplified and easier to use, and people who maybe need, people like my parents or Nate's parents or whoever that need some stuff for around the house, maybe they buy a 3D printer because they want some, they think it's cool.
We should do a video where we teach Tim how to 3D print.
That'd be fun.
That would be a lot of fun. Nate? I'm going to give Tim a 3D printer.
Have fun with that, Nate.
Oh.
But yeah, as the process becomes easier and easier to do, particularly without all of the tuning and et cetera, where you can...
He just said no.
Just hit print.
Also, Deanna, no, he hasn't got a light yet because he's lazy. Oh. She wants to know why your star doesn't light up.
Oh, it's in the mail. I added it to my cart on Amazon along with a couple of other things and never ordered it until today. I was like, I have a cart on Amazon I need to order.
Just hit order.
Yeah, just hit order.
Oh yeah, Nate, so... I'm definitely giving Tim a printer now. And he knows you know how to use them.
Oh, that's going to be hilarious.
For you.
Well,
it's going to be fun for me.
It's going to be frustrating for Nate. It's going to be hilarious for us. But yeah, so the light for the star is, in fact, I would imagine will be here. I ordered it early today, so it'll either be here tomorrow or Sunday.
By Monday.
Yeah, by Monday.
Definitely for the next show.
For the next show, that will be lit up.
Where exactly it'll be, we don't know.
Probably right there.
Yeah, that one's pretty cool. That's definitely a keep in the background. So, I mean, that's ultimately it. The reason that we need competition in 3D printing and the reason that we need so many big players is for all of our benefit. The more big players we have, the more Bamboos, Prusas, Crealities that we have, the better all of their products have to become, because they all want to earn your hard-earned money. And if they don't keep making better products for you, the next person will, the next company will, and the next company will take your dollars just as eagerly as the first company. So if these companies can't compete with each other and against each other, we don't get better products.
And that's exactly where we all benefit, is because they have to compete against each other. We keep getting better things for less money.
Exactly.
I mean, I think the A1 is...
I paid $500 for my A1 mini kit, and you can't even... the last time I looked, I don't think you can get a Prusa mini in the US for less than $500. So I got the printer with multi-material capability, pretty much identical build volume, identical footprint, faster.
And, I mean, granted, there was the catching on fire issue, but they are fixing
That's
that.
the A1. I have the mini.
Right. But where I was going was the A1 for $400. That's the same build volume as the P1S, the 256 cube build volume on a faster machine. Granted, it's a bed slinger, but some people are going to not care about that.
I would argue most people don't care about that.
So on a faster machine with a decent sized build volume, with all of those sensors and technology in it for $400, I mean, that's...
But then you compare it directly to the Prusa, and you have the staying power and customer service to compete with. Also, you have closed source versus open source. The open source nature of the Prusa being more expensive means that it's also going to be easier for you to get upgrade parts, new parts, and service it yourself. So these are factors we have to look into when we're making these important decisions.
For some people, I think, I maintain closed source products are better for people who want cool 3D printed things and have zero interest in actually being 3D printers. I maintain closed source is better for those people.
I don't think it's that closed source specifically is better. Because closed source, it's going to be harder to service. So if you have to fix it, if you have to learn how to fix it or do something with it.
Yeah, but again, the type of people I'm talking about don't service their own things.
Well, what are they going to do with it? There's not somewhere around here where you're going to take your A1 to get
right
fixed.
Now. It's another conversation, kind of for another time that I had with Nate, but
that's
as 3D printing becomes more and more popular,
that's a business that Loyal's been talking about for a while.
Are we going to see maybe hobby shops or electronic shops starting to not only carry but actually work on 3D printers?
You know that's my dream store.
I do know that's your dream, and that's the point.
How long have I been talking about opening that store?
That's something you want to do, and with printers becoming more and more commonplace in people's houses, that starts to become more and more of an actual viable business model.
But at the same, that does have to be. Oh, I'm excited.
I've nearly started another hour and a half long conversation.
That does. That sounds like that's gonna have to be next Friday night's topic.
I like it.
What is the future of brick and mortar 3D printing? So far, let's recap what we've talked about today. We have some cool products coming in. We received our first ever super chats from Snail. Thank you, Snail. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Snail.
Really,
Snail's awesome.
Yeah.
Go subscribe to him. He's on YouTube.
He is. Nice guy. He made us a promo video.
He did.
He bought cameraman Beau a milkshake tonight, and we're definitely going to go to Arby's after this. Because I need a milkshake, and I'm getting hungry.
I'm also very hungry.
Yeah, I'm definitely hungry. We have some fun products coming in to show off because of the K1C videos. So we're getting some stuff from Big Tree Tech, and we're getting some stuff from Grat Kit. So I'm really excited for those things. Deanna, exactly. You don't want to tinker with the printer. And that makes perfect sense. My bamboos are my machines that just run. I don't want to tinker with them. My Ender 3 and my Vorons, those are my tinkering printers. I have a feeling that the SV06 Plus that's sitting off camera is going to be a tinkering printer for the most part, but I should be able to get it set up reliable enough for this one to run at high rates of speed with no issue. Let's see, what else? Competition's good. Competition's good.
Rem's gonna get striked.
Beau's buying a new 3D printer tomorrow. Deanna, Beau is going to go buy another P1S with the AMS tomorrow.
Allegedly.
Well, you have to, because you already agreed to trade me.
I'm only actually going down there if Nate's down to go down there. I'm not driving down there by myself.
He already said he was bringing Hayden.
He did say that, but we'll see tomorrow.
Yeah. So, Beau's getting a P1S and an AMS tomorrow, and then I'm gonna trade him my P1P and some money.
You're gonna get striked.
But you have a $450 Micro Center coupon.
Is that what it is?
That's how my brain registers those things. You know how I treat cash.
I do.
If it's in cash, it's not part of the budget. Cash is unallocated. Yeah, he's getting his second bamboo within 4 weeks of getting his first bamboo.
To the day. Well, tomorrow it won't be, but yeah, 4 weeks to the day today.
Deanna, he has 275 print hours on his P1S already. No, that's been the bulk of it. We've got some cool stuff going on. Again, I do want to thank Deanna for naming the Friday live show Just Hit Print. Super grateful for you smacking us in the face with that idea.
I just wanted to show off the most ridiculous thing I've printed so
Okay,
far.
a little show and tell. Beau made a hat.
I found this knitted bowl on printables and I scaled it up 150%. And I said, yeah, that should be fine. And I drastically underestimated how big it was going to be.
It feels solid.
It also took 20 hours to print.
It's beautiful.
On the bamboo.
It's beautiful.
It looks amazing. I love it so much.
Oh my gosh, dude, it would be so cool with a gradient filament.
It would.
Ooh. Now you need to fill it with wax fruit and put it on your mom's end table.
But yeah, I just wanted to show off the most ridiculous thing I've printed so far.
Oh man, it is awesome. So, I think that's pretty much the show for this week, guys. I don't have anything else prepared.
Also, we've already droned on for a couple hours.
2 hours, yeah. I think I only printed 2 things this week. I printed an even bigger raccoon to give to somebody, and a little shelf for the house. Yeah. So, for everybody who came to hang out tonight, as always, we appreciate you. Snail, thank you again for the super chats. They mean a lot and are really going to help out in getting us Milkshake.
Yeah, man, we really appreciate you.
Yeah. Man, you're getting your first paycheck of the year already.
Look at you. No, that's not true. We've gone to get milkshakes since the first, haven't we?
I don't know.
I think we've definitely been since the first to get milkshakes. For sure.
Deanna wants to know who that model was from. You've got to start knowing this if you're going to show off models on the stream. You got to be able to start telling people where to find them.
You want to see something annoying?
The printables is your top search result on your phone.
Oh, I don't know how to use it on my phone anymore.
Well, you got to sign in. We're checking to see who it's from, Deanna. He's pulling us right back in. Also, guys, please be sure to share the channel with your friends. Drop us a like and maybe subscribe if you're not already. 99 or like 97% of the people who watched our K1C video were not subscribed.
Yes, Deanna. That is in fact who that was.
Text me the link and I'll throw it in chat. so that way we can share it with the people.
Hit it! That's what I'm talking about. Wait! Okay, now, from the beginning.
Nick just Nick texted, I bought all this stuff to go full Hank Hill on my lawn.
I saw that.
Now I want to rewatch King of the Hill. That's amazing.
I put in chat.
In the stream chat?
Yeah, I realized I could just do that
Oh,
instead of texting it to you for you to put in chat.
did it give you an error message? Why isn't it coming through?
Are you on top chat or live chat?
Oh. Why does it do that every time? Nope, still gone. Say something in chat real quick. Something else. I want to see if I have you set as a moderator. If you're not, I can make you be a moderator. We're learning as we go.
Okay, so why did the link not come
Add as
through?
moderator. Because for most people they can't post chat or can't post links. Try to post a link now. It's to prevent like malicious link sharing.
Ah,
There we go.
perfect.
Cool. Okay, so guys, that's pretty well the show tonight.
From
It's
the
been a long day. I'm tired. I'm hungry, and I want a milkshake.
I also want to know.
And I think we have some filming to try to get done today. Thanks for coming to hang out.